Have you ever looked up at the night sky, staring into the dark, and realized you weren't actually seeing it anymore? There was a time when the stars were actual questions. They were tiny, persistent mysteries that demanded your attention, invitations to wonder about what lay beyond the atmosphere. Somewhere between childhood curiosity and adult burnout, the habit of looking up often disappears. We are trained to trade that expansive, open-ended wonder for a narrow, hyper-focused productivity that leaves little room for the infinite. For many, there was a window of time where learning was entirely self-directed. It was the era of pausing science videos at 2 a.m. to re-watch a mathematical proof, or frame by frame a visualization of a black hole's event horizon. It was fueled by concepts that felt terrifyingly huge, the geometry of wormholes, or the specific slow-motion physics of the Andromeda galaxy eventually colliding with the Milky Way. Even though the universe is unimaginably vast, the right guide or a parent sitting with you through a late-night documentary could make those massive concepts feel intimate, like a conversation you were allowed to join, even if you'd never fully understand it. That curiosity thrived because it didn't need a formal structure. You could miss out on the school-organized observation camps or the official trips, and the hunger to know more stayed just as sharp. Intrinsic curiosity doesn't rely on a syllabus. It runs on the freedom to explore monumental, unanswerable questions simply because they exist. Then the high-stakes exams arrive, and with them a dangerous promise. Put your intellectual passions on hold now, crack the test, and you can pick them up later. This is the efficiency paradox. To survive, you have to shift your behavior. You shut out the cosmological wonder and join the homogenized machine of exam prep, focusing entirely on memorizing a rigid syllabus until you become efficient and invisible. The marks on the sheet might confirm you're a topper, but the victory feels hollow. You've achieved the metrics while losing the very connection to the subject matter that made you want to study it in the first place. When you optimize a student's brain purely for competition, you effectively starve their original motivation. The things you loved become deferred tasks, and the problem with deferring wonder is that we eventually forget how to return to it. You endure the grind by believing that a university environment will finally reignite that original spark. You tell yourself that once you're in a real lab with a real project, the stars will start to matter again. Instead, the spark is buried under a relentless cycle of attendance, deadlines, and practicals. You find yourself writing code that runs perfectly, but serves no deeper meaning, training for a fluorescent career under a ceiling. This burnout creates a strange apathy toward the very things you once loved. Even when humanity launches a telescope capable of peering 13 billion years into the past, delivering infrared clarity we've never seen before, you don't even click on the images. Ignoring these milestones isn't an act of arrogance. It's a symptom of the emotional distance burnout creates. It is as if the universe moved ahead, and you simply didn't know how to rejoin the conversation. Modern education is highly effective at teaching us how to survive a week of deadlines, but it often fails to teach us how to sustain curiosity when no one is asking for it. It leaves you as a chronic overachiever who is constantly moving the goalposts for a game you no longer understand. You're efficient, you're tired, and you're lost. To find a way back, you have to create a space that the academic system can't touch. For some, it's a page and a pen, writing to name the mental fog so it stops swallowing whole days. It's a steady handle on a door that's been locked by productivity for years. The recovery is messy. You might step outside and realize that while those vibrant dust clouds and sparkling stars are still there, your knowledge of them has faded. You look up and realize you can't even remember the constellations you once knew by heart. But you stand in the dark anyway. You try to separate your self-worth from your productivity or the panic of a looming deadline, and you just let yourself exist. After years of surviving under a ceiling, the sky doesn't wait for you to be ready. If the universe offered you one more chance to wonder, Would you still remember how to look up?
Subscribe